Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to a speedrun that I did. It was about a week or so before the video is uploaded. If you might be able to hear me in the background. That's because I kind of did a small intro before the speedrun, but unfortunately my mic was like really low for some reason. I don't know why. But at this point, I'm just kind of introducing the run. I can't remember what exactly I was talking about, but basically I was just giving introductions, and I was basically saying the whole, like, you know, I'm no pro at this. As you can see by the time on the right of the screen, I am nowhere near world record pace. That's actually a PB that I did. It was a while before this video started. Here you can see me testing out my splits just to make sure that they are working properly. I think I start the speedrun here. Yeah, right here. So right here I go into the hidden mansion just because it's a lot quicker. I think most people go into the hidden mansion mostly because the vacuum is stronger, but there is double damage. I have failed on the hidden mansion a couple times due to the double damage, but it doesn't really give me too much trouble. As far as I know, at least. Of course, areas 3 and 4 do give me a bit of trouble thanks to the damage, but other than that, I don't really take too much damage except for a couple parts in the mansion itself. So here we're starting the run in the first room. I can't remember what it's called, but I call it room or something. It's just the first room of the mansion. It's just got 3 golden ghosts in it. Special. I'm kind of on pace right now. It's a little slower because I don't understand well. Here I make a little bit of a mistake because I'm used to just going straight through the door as I suck up the last ghost. But I forgot there was a key in order to open up that door. So, Mario! And here you can see open up the door with key, and this room tends to mess me up a little bit because there are these golden ghosts in here, but soon we should actually have a tiny bit of trouble, but nothing too harsh. These ghosts right here. These ghosts are giving me trouble. Do this tactic here that I saw. Basically, 2 ghosts will spawn right behind me. I think if I remember it was just lucky because I was just heading to the door to get ready to go through the door after. Here I did something different where I normally get the first ghost that spawns but I heard that it was slower to do that, so I just did the first ghost and then the orchard golden ghost, and just slightly quicker. These ghosts in particular, the ones that are throwing the banana peels, are like my rivals, my nemesis, because I'll always be like sucking the one ghost up, and there'll be another 2 or so. Those ghosts will always mess me up. I do this trick here where I suck up the key, but I don't quite suck it up. I try to keep just enough away from it. Mario! To where I'll get it right at the door and I can just walk right through soon after I get the key. Excuse me. So here we go into the second part of Area 2, where we get introduced to the portrait ghosts. Something I do want to say about the portrait ghosts, they don't really give me too much trouble, except for the boss ghosts, obviously. Neville here, like, never gives me any trouble, as you'll see here. I do remember I got him perfectly. There. Neville gives me, like, no trouble at all. For some reason here, I do remember. I don't know why I grabbed the big pearl. I don't need it at all, but for some reason I grabbed it. I wasted time, I guess. Lydia over here, she, again, she either gives me no trouble at all, or she gives me a bit of trouble. I remember this run, she gave me, as you can see, her health isn't ticking down as quick as Neville's. That's the thing that I was talking about, was either her health goes down really quick or it goes down like that. Either way, it still goes down relatively quick, but it doesn't go down as quick as what I would normally like. Alright, so here we're coming up on Chauncey. Chauncey was not my favorite, at least in the intro. So I make him spawn. And this is the problem that I had with Chauncey, was this ball. This ball didn't cooperate. For some reason, this ball didn't want to cooperate. Here, you see it got flung in the corner. And because of the area, the weird trajectory that I had to pull with the ball, I actually got hit by Chauncey in the intro. I haven't gotten hit by Chauncey in the intro in a long time, like since I've been young, and that was like really weird for me. I was actually considering resetting, but there was like almost no time lost to that, so I mean there was obviously time lost, but you know, it wasn't as bad as what it normally could have been. Alright, so here we're coming up on the Chauncey 1, or Chauncey 1, kind of just the Chauncey boss in general. So here he has this attack that he sends out 2 horses, and then he'll send out some of his like play balls that he does. And I do this strategy. I stand in the middle, so kinda towards the back, and I wait for this first ball to get super close to me. I intentionally let go of Chauncey there because I know that after his health goes below 50% or 50 health, after it goes down below there, he'll switch into his like second phase of attacks, which is faster, but it adds an extra horse. It actually adds an extra 2 horse that go on either side of Chauncey, and that actually adds a bit of more time. So right there you can see the strategy I use in play. I wait until the first ball gets right up close to me, and then I move. So then the third ball comes straight down, and whenever it bounces back, it comes really close to Chauncey, and I just hit him. That was honestly one of my best Chaunceys. It's actually almost 30 seconds on the split, which is kind of insane. It was always like somewhere around 8 minutes, and I was like, how can I do this better? And that Chauncey I think was the best Chauncey I've had. So I'm definitely going to be using the like around 60 health versus around 50 health. Yes, it is a little slower when you let go at 60 versus 50, but I think because you don't take you don't take a lot of health off of him. That's the reason why. It's because he doesn't like get harder, and the RNG elements get more unpredictable. So here we're just going through mortificationizing the ghosts. I think that's a word. If that's not a word, I just made it a word. So yes, so with that, we are going to be heading into Area 2. Area 2's boss, as you can see, is called Bogmire. Right here, I made the mistake of accidentally going into the training room. That definitely cost me a bit of time, and I will make sure not to do that in the future. There you could see that I actually went left a bit. Some people could, I don't remember exactly why. You could say that I was trying to avoid the chandelier, but you could also say that it was because of like, I wanted to say that I was gonna go grab some booze or whatever up at Area 1, but that wasn't the case. If you saw in the hallway there, I kind of did a little dance back and forth where that ghost was. That was because I couldn't remember where to go. I knew you had to go to the ballroom, but I couldn't remember exactly where to go because I know you had to go to like a room or two first. And then I remembered about this room and I thought, well, I'll just try that and hopefully it'll work. These huggers, as you can see, gave me a hard time, a lot of hard time. This run, now that I'm remembering, this run could have been sub 140 maybe. I do believe that it was above 140. I'm pretty sure this was a PB, but I can't remember exactly. I'll have to keep an eye out just to be safe. So yeah, those huggers really gave me a lot of trouble. The huggers in general, just in any room, just give me a lot of trouble, especially in the basement. There's one room in the basement where there's like 3 huggers that spawn, and those can really give me a lot of trouble. Here I kind of messed up and just sucked at the Shy Guys. I try to get them on like double, so like I try to get 2 at once so that I can just get the pair out of the way. But it doesn't always work. Sometimes it works, you know, perfectly, and I get all 3 duos at the same time. But as you can see, I was not doing the greatest. Oh my gosh. Like, I would still flash them, but as you can see, they're not like all getting sucked up. Like, I'm not hitting them. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot I got hit there. Like I said, this run was about a week before this session, before this post-commentary. So yeah, and with the Shy Guys out of the way, we got the floating Whirlindas, I believe they're called. The trick to getting them, I don't remember what exactly it is, but I'm pretty sure once they spawn, you just have to be on the spinning platform. And just kind of gotta dance a little bit, like do a little pseudo dance, and they'll be able to, you'll be able to get them to be sucked up. Not really hard at all. They can be hard when sucking them up, but they can be really interesting. So, this room, it really gives me troubles because I know you can suck the poster off, but because these ghosts spawn just perfectly in succession, I can't ever do that. I believe there's two of the twirlers and there's 2 of the huggers, and as you can see, the huggers are always giving me trouble. So yeah. I remember, I think I tried to run this game after I ran this run, and I actually glitched out one of the huggers. I got him in the corner, and I got him to do the animation where, like, he didn't take any health, so he was like, you know, doing that, oh no, I didn't do it kind of animation, but since he was stuck in a corner, he just kind of did it over and over, and it was really, it was really weird. So here, you'll see the poster that I was trying to suck up. I don't know why it didn't work, but it just wasn't cooperating. And here I release the booze. I've been contemplating whether I should make a split or a boo release, because my boo release isn't too bad. It's almost perfect every time, but sometimes I do have a hiccup like I had in this run out in the hallway when I first got into Area 2. So here, nothing really much to say. I just release the booze. Have a little bit of a pseudo cutscene where we go back and talk to EGAD. So here he tells us that we have to catch as many boos as we can. I can't remember if I made the mistake I usually do or not in this run, but sometimes I make the mistake of not catching enough boos for a certain area. I don't know why I got caught there. That was weird. I got caught on Toad for a second. You need 20 boos to get into Colossus, the Area 3 boss. And then you need 20 boos for Colossus, and then you need 40 boos to get to King Boo, the final boss. As you can see, I got alright RNG. This boo is either in that table that I got first, or he's in that cabinet that I got second. He's almost always in one of those two areas for me. For the anteroom, nothing really much to say. He's in one of these three areas, and I got bad RNG. Do I suck up the heart here? I don't think I do. No. 46 health isn't anything to sneeze at, but here I got good RNG with the boo. I figured out how to R pump, and I've been doing that ever since. Here, the wardrobes for me take like, they're hard to get used to because sometimes I'll be scanning the mirror and the hitbox, I guess, of the wardrobes will get in the way, and I'll just be clipping the hitbox for the wardrobe, and it'll come up with the text box like, oh hey, you know, I could just gaze at this for hours, and I'm like, no, Luigi. So here I got decent RNG. The boo can show up in one of the few chairs in this room. Nothing really much to say other than that. Here, this boo like 9 times out of 10 will flee on me, and I can never find it. And I don't think it does here. It does. Okay. Okay then, I don't remember that. I thought I got him, but I guess as you can see, he got to 9 health. So. Why did I pull out my vacuum? I guess for that. He went into the. Oh yeah, I remember now. He went into the music room, and then after that, he went into the. What am I doing? What? What am I doing? I don't remember this. What am I doing? Am I going back up to Area 1? Alright, I guess because I've been doing a new strategy, this was the old strategy that I used to use. For these boos, the boo for me is always in that desk. Always in that desk. Like, I don't think I've ever had a time where that boo has not been in that desk. Oh yeah, I remember why I did this now. Because in order to progress, you need 5 boos, and because of that, because I didn't have 5 boos, I had to go back up to Area 1 and grab one of those. It is very much out of my way, but unfortunately, I did have to do that. Not sure what happened there. Alright, so heading over into this room, grab the key, and I believe this key will lead you to Madame Clairvoyant's room. That is the fortune teller of the game. While you don't get keys to get to her room, like to get her, there is a way to get her, and right there, I do that a lot. I will turn the opposite direction, and that's because, like, I will mean to turn right when Luigi turns left, and that's because it's based off of where Luigi is looking. If Luigi is walking forward, he'll turn to the right. If Luigi is walking backwards, he'll turn to the right, meaning he'll turn to his right. And that tends to mess my brain up a bit. Here we've got a room full of nothing but huggers. My worst nightmare. Right there, I think I let go so I could get both of them, but as you can see, that didn't work out. I lost the first one and just got grabbed by the other one. Here, my flashlight was pointed upwards, and oh my gosh. Yeah, like I said with the huggers are not treating me, like, at all with any kindness. Thankfully I got the one off in the distance there, so he didn't come and hug me. These things always want to give me a hug, but I don't want hugs. Not right now, at least. Alright. Here I remember I made a very crucial mistake. I accidentally grabbed the medal while the boo triggered. So I ended up triggering the cutscene, or the pseudo cutscene, while the boo was out. So the boo just ended up running away. And I think I ended up losing that boo. Yeah. Yeah, then I had to go and grab fire, then hit the candles, and I just took so much time because of that crucial mistake. That hard either didn't give me any help. Alright. Did the boo leave? I don't think the boo left. Well. Probably get it later. I don't know where it went, but it probably went into like the dining room or something. If it did go into the dining room, then that boo is as good as lost because I don't get that boo anymore. I used to get that boo, but not anymore. That strategy has changed. Sometimes it trips me up, but sometimes it doesn't. Here I try to get lucky with the RNG and try to get Shivers like right as soon as he comes like in front of me. I'm very sorry for the flashlight. Most of the time I just mash buttons while I'm waiting just to be like, just to keep my reflexes really quick. And sometimes that ends up being the B button, which will flash the light. Here I like doing this little, I don't know if you'd call it a glitch or not, where I grab the hat right as the ghost spawns. So he's like, oh crap, a hat. Here I remember I played it super risky for like the next 2 or 3 minutes. I don't remember why I was playing it so risky. But as you can see, I spawned a heart, but I didn't actually grab it because Shivers was about to despawn. He sits there dancing on the stool there for a little bit, and then he'll despawn. I don't remember I don't ever remember where he goes after he despawns. I want to say that he comes back into the room, but I don't remember. He may go back out to the hallway outside Melody. This Boo is almost always in that cabinet. As you can see, the Boo Ball was, but he was not. I remember this Boo gave me a bit of trouble. I could never find him. And then whenever I do find him, he's in the first place that I checked. Perfect. There we go. I remember some of the Boos, I'm very clearly sucking on them, but it's not working, you know? So then here we go with the wormhole. I never used to get this Boo. Never did I even touch this room. But I've been trying it out in a new strategy. There I just about got hit, and that would have been game over. Because like I said, the double damage, that would have actually killed me. This room has 4 ice ghosts, I believe. 4 ice twirlers, and that could mean game over for me right now. I don't know why I played it so risky, but I did. And I decided to burn them all, and just because I didn't want to take the risk of dying. I could have just worked one by one at them, but I didn't want to actually do that, just because of, you know, playing it safe when I was at 8 health, so anything could have killed me. Stuff does, like, there are some ghosts, like the golden ghosts, the very first ghost we encounter. Those ghosts do 5 to 10 health, I believe. 5 to 10 damage, but with the hidden mansion they can do 10 to 20, and even those can kill me outright. One of the first times getting that room, and I actually did really well on it. Went in with 8 health and came out with 8 health. So I'd say that was pretty good. So here I just gotta do a little bit of cleanup from when I first was in here. I don't know why I burned the ghost. I think just so that I could actually manipulate it better and make sure I could actually do that. Here I almost got caught by that hugger, and it might would have killed me. This hugger is what? Yeah, I think if I remember right, certain huggers will not hurt you. They'll just slow you down. Which I'm not exactly sure which ones they are. They might just be the white ones that don't do anything. Not exactly sure. This Boo, for me at least, has always been in that upper shelf. I don't know why, but it has. And with that Boo down, we're going to be going to Melody's room. Melody is one of my favorite characters of the game. She's really cool, and I really like it. The one thing I don't like about Melody, though, is that when you go to... What am I doing? That will happen occasionally, where I'll be mashing the A button, and I'll pass by a door, and I'll just go right through it, like, unintentionally. So to activate Melody, you gotta play these instruments and walk near the piano, and she'll spawn. Melody will do this thing whenever she plays her piano. She'll play one of like 2 or 3 songs from old Mario series, and I don't know some Mario series. Okay, I think I got the better one. I think I got the easier of the 2 questions. Oh, famous game. No, I didn't. Here you can see I hesitated because I don't remember. I don't know if it's randomized or not, or like how she's able to ask you. Um, but as you can see, she gave 3 options as to where the she gives like 3 options as to what game the music is from, and I've never played like 2 of those games. I've never played 2 of those games, and the third of the 3 I've played like half of. So I know it's very bad for me to admit that, but that is why this room is one of the hardest for me, is because if I mess that up, I'm gonna have to go out, you know, beat back on the drums, beat back on all the instruments, and re-trigger a melody. And so far I haven't gotten too much bad luck on that, but just thankfully I have been pretty good. So there's Melody's room down. One thing I did forget to mention, I don't know why I didn't get the fire. Well, like, I got, like, you know those pages that Melody sends out after you? I don't know why I didn't burn them. That's a trick that's pretty easy to do, but here, if you saw whenever I went into the room, I got the golden mouse. That happens multiple times in my runs, and I absolutely hate it because when times I'm not doing 100% run, I'll get the golden mouse. And when times I am not doing a 100, or when times like I am doing a 100% run, I can't ever get those mice, and it just irritates me. That freezer, a couple seconds ago, was not treating me right. Wasn't treating me at all nice. It wasn't opening, and whenever it finally did open, it just didn't cooperate. Here I made the mistake of trying to go through a door, but it actually worked out in my favor, because as I was about to head through the door, I forgot about the boo, and the boo cackled, which made me remember. As you can see, I was doing the R pumping there. That was the trick that I was talking about earlier. I've kind of mastered it now. A lot of people say like to do it every so much amount of health or whatnot. I just do it every cackle. Every cackle lines up to about 10 health, so I just do it every cackle. I'm more audio than visual, so it's a little hard for me to work that. So here we got, I think his name is Spooky. And in order to get Spooky, we need to suck up Mr. Bones here, and he will drop a bone for us to get him. Spooky gives me like no trouble at all. Like, once Mr. Bones spawns and I suck him up, he gives me no trouble at all. Here I remember triggering these guys, and I remember like near the last one, I start searching for health because I'm a little lower than I would like to be for Bogmire. Bogmire is coming up. Yeah. As you can see, I'm searching around for health, and I actually flashed him just to get him out of the way because he'll keep throwing bones at me. And here I do this trick where when I suck up the last bone ghost, I make sure to stand directly in front of the tombstone, in front of the grave, to initiate the cutscene. Alright, so here we go with the Bogmire boss fight of Area 2. Bogmire never works with me. Same with the next boss of Area 3, Boolossus. Boolossus and Bogmire never give me any work room. Bogmire doesn't give me any work room because of a specific reason, and that's because he's very unpredictable. I believe I recycle him, but I could be wrong. As you can see, I get a good chunk of health off of Bogmire, and that's what I expect. I don't expect a 1 or 2 cycle Bogmire. I expect to just get decent chunks off of him, and as you can see here, I thread he leads me right through 3 of those shadows, and I don't know why I just stood right there, but I unintentionally took damage, or I guess intentionally. Here I made the very poor mistake of just not hitting Bogmire. Just not at all. I don't know what was happening, but I was just having an off day that day, and Bogmire was just standing there, and I was just like, I'm gonna hit him here, and miss. But here I made the best shot I could, and I only took like, what, 10, 15 health off him. Oh well, that was a 3 cycle though, so this will be a 4 cycle hopefully. Yep, there it is. That's usual Bogmire for me. Usual Bogmire is about 3 or 4 cycle. I have seen people do 1 cycle Bogmire, and I am honestly very irritated by that, because Bogmire, like I said, usual Bogmire is 3 to 4 cycle. I have gotten 5 cycle before, but that was like on super bad. That may have been on when I was doing the normal mansion. Either that or that was just bad luck on hidden mansion. But yeah, with Bogmire down and kind of bad Bogmire, but just also bad me in general. Like, you know, that time that I took like damage when I was just standing still when all the shadows crept up on me. It's just at that point it was like, yeah. Alright, and with the last of the ghosts getting portrificationized, we will be heading into Area 3. Area 3 has... how many ghosts does it have? I believe it has the same amount of ghosts as Area 2. Although the boss of Area 3 is much more irritating. As you can tell from the boss of Area 3 is Boolossus, meaning it is a very big boo. It is a very big boo made up of very, how do I want to say, very smaller boos. You know, normal boos that are just, you know, gathered up into one spot. Here I grab the water for a trick I do later. I'm not exactly sure why I suck up the ghost, but the ghost can give me a bit of a hard bother there. And here I have to initiate this cutscene. I don't know why. I think it's to spawn a key or something. But here I have to play this cutscene. And this is just the normal cutscene of how we find where Mario is. Mario is cooped up in that painting. Oh, okay. So it spawns a ghost that after defeating the ghost, you get a key. Okay. See, sometimes I don't remember this stuff, and I just kind of go off of memory. So, like, whenever I backed out of that hole, I probably heard the ghost and went, oh, okay, I need to get him. Like, I probably always head into that well going, I have no idea what to do down here, but I just know I need to trigger this cutscene. Here we have a portrait ghost, one of the first few that we don't get. Well, actually, the first ghost we don't get is Mr. Lugs. Just because he doesn't really give you anything other than money. The second one there was Biff Atlas. He is a bodybuilder of Ghost, and he doesn't really give you anything. The treadmill on the left does give you a key that will give you a shortcut of sorts back to Area 2. That way you don't have to go clear around the back of the mansion. You can just cut through one of the doors. As you saw down on the lower floor, I did the trick with the water where you can, if you press down the L, you can shoot a ball of whatever element you have, and I did that with the water element because the door that led into this room was on fire, and you can do that through the floor. I guess the hitbox stretches a little bit through the floor, and that's how you're able to get it. Here we learn about the ice metal and the ice element. Here I get pretty good RNG, and the boost spawns in the ice bucket. Here I do believe I grabbed the ice element. Yes, I do, because I need the ice element for the next portrait ghost I am going after. I'm going to be going after Miss Petunia that we actually have to go to. Miss Petunia here, oh geez. Avert your eyes, children. Oh crap, really avert your eyes. But no, that is how you get Miss Petunia. It is, while you don't know it initially, when you go off to the room next to the right, there is a set of books, and the portrait ghost in that room has written a diary. And in that diary, it says that Miss Petunia, the ghost that we just sucked up here, this chest is not cooperating. The ghost that we just sucked up here, it says that she dumped a bunch of ice in the tub before Miss Petunia went and took a shower. So that's what we have to do. It seemed that her weakness was ice. That's why we had to grab the ice element. Here I made the mistake of just shooting off one of the yarn balls, hoping it was going to hit Nana. That's the portrait ghost here. And if it hits anything but her, as you can see, she just kind of cackles at you and disappears. I don't know why, but the second time the blue ball just shot off in a certain direction. And it wasn't even my fault. It was weird RNG, as well as like like how the room was laid out, and it just hit me so weird. I'm surprised the last two yarn balls hit her, actually, because I remember this ghost, and this ghost did not give me like any wiggle room. I think I 3-cycled her almost. Oh, okay, I 2-cycled her. That still wasn't bad though. Actually, it's funny because I don't know why, but the sound started to go weird in the game. And if you heard there, whenever I sucked up Nana, usually there's a little sound effect like, hey, you cleared up the room? Or something like that, you know, and you lit it up. But for some reason, that sound effect didn't play, and that happens a couple times in the route. I think it actually happens in the final boss. Here you can see I get the boo. The boo doesn't cooperate at all. The boo for me almost always spawns in the table there, in the table with the couch and chair. Sometimes, like rarely, it does spawn like somewhere else in the room, but 9 times out of 10 it does spawn in the table there. I don't know why I was... Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I couldn't remember why I was kind of dancing there for a bit, but that was because I needed to get the fire. I need to get the fire for this room to light up all 5 candelabras. Alright, so this room was interesting, if I remember right. It wasn't perfect, but it was alright. I didn't get the Shy Guy ghost that I wanted to, but I still was able to get him on the second time. I kind of like to try and keep all the candles lit if I can, but unfortunately that like happens, as you can see. I'm gonna end the room off with like all of them taken out. Yeah, I actually do that. I think we've got one more wave of enemies, and then, yeah. It gives you like 2, 2, and, 2 Shy Guy Ghosts and a Hugger. As you can see, that third wave did not treat me well at all. One of the Shy Guy Ghosts poked me, and that sent me back into a Hugger. That's why I said that the Huggers don't, like me at all. And that's because they do not at all. There it happened again, where the sound effect doesn't play when you light up a room. I think that it might be actually attributed to that singular sound effect. I don't know why, but it played earlier in the game. It played earlier in the run, but it stopped playing for some reason. There, for once, that boo didn't give me any trouble. Most of the time, it'll give me a little trouble in the room, and then it'll leave into the hallway. And if I'm not careful, which 9 times out of 10 happens, I end up losing the boo, and it runs into Area 1. Sometimes I have to go back into Area 1 to get a portrait ghost. So sometimes, depending on how I feel, I'll go back into Area 1 into the anteroom. That's where it goes. I'll go back into the anteroom just to try and get it. But most of the time it doesn't. I don't. Just because. Depending on how much health it has and whatnot, I may, but just, I don't know. It depends on how I feel sometimes. So here we are getting the third of Mario's items. We've gotten the hat, the letter, and now we're about to get the star. I don't know why this is a trick. I know a lot of people grab the star, like just walk up to it and grab it, and I've seen a lot of people suck it up. And I'm not exactly sure why that's quicker, but I have found it to be quicker, so that's why I use that method. Why are the candles lit? I don't remember the candles being lit whenever I left the room. So here I am going back into areas 1 and 2. That is because the 2 portrait ghosts that we got, Miss Petunia and Nana. Miss Petunia will lead you to the billiards room as well as the projector room in succession, as well as Nana will lead you into what is called the twins room. It is, of course, where the twins are. Here I try out, because I could have sworn I remember the projector being able to be activated via A press on the table. But for some reason it doesn't work, so most of the time I just resort to the vacuum, because the vacuum activates anything on that piece of geometry. So as you can see, we have another room filled with others. I think we have like 4 or 5 waves of them. The huggers, like I said, do not treat me very well, and with this room, it can play a trick on your mind. Basically, because of the projector, like with the mirror room before, anything close to the projector will show up very big, and anything far away from the projector will show up very small. And by what I say by that is the shadows on the projector screen. As you can see, the shadows were somewhat you know, medium sized, that was because they were in the middle. Yeah, and there goes that sound effect again. So unfortunately, these two rooms do not lead to a key, but it does lead to two of Mario's items. The last two of Mario's items. So here we're getting the Boo. Nothing special about it, just giving it a couple hard pumps to get it out of the way. There we got Mario's glove, and I accidentally scanned the picture there, but we will be scanning the mirror to return to the foyer. And after returning to the foyer, we will be heading back into Area 1 of the Portuguese area to head into the twins room. And this is the time that I would be grabbing the booze in Area 1. In the new route I've been doing. The twins room, there's this thing that you have to play with to get the twins' attention to spawn them. But that thing always, I don't know how to work it. I think you gotta twist it around a few times, and that'll spawn them. And here I made the very crucial mistake of holding the control stick in a different direction. Most of the time I just mash A, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, we'll play. But there I made the very crucial mistake of like, of saying no, and apparently because of that, I tried like, you know, doing more with the toy and whatnot, and that didn't work, and yeah, so I had to go back out and re-trigger them. So there, I made sure I pressed, you know, let's play, and alright. Now the trick to the twins, while they do call it cheating, and it is kind of cheating, you have to suck on the boxes, and if the boxes shake, as you can see here, they will be in the box. And yeah, they say play fair, cheater, because that is kind of cheating, you know. But, you know. So here I like to get the one on the ground first. While the one in the air can swoop on you, the one on the ground will constantly be going after you. Will like be heat seeking on you. And that's the reason why I get the one on the ground first. Alright, so here I don't know why, but the last couple runs I've had, the Boo has been in the one spot where I've never seen him ever before this run or the one run before. Where is he? It takes me a long time to figure it out because I've never seen him in this area. But I figure out that he's in the dartboard. I've never had him in the dartboard before. And like, how in the world, and yeah, right there, I knew the ball was gonna get in the way, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like trigger it or not. And I ended up grabbing the ball and just popping it off. So yeah, got that Boo there. Conveniently led into Chauncey's room where there is another Boo. And if you saw there, the red or the yellow light wasn't flashing. The yellow light was solid, meaning it was going as fast as it could without turning into red. So I was very close, but unfortunately it was a Boo ball. And the Boo was in the crib. That was odd. Oh, it does have low health, so maybe it's a young Boo. Okay, so here after this one, we'll be going into Lydia's room to get that Boo, and once we get that Boo, I'll be using a trick that I started using. This Boo has always been in that pit, just almost always, I should say. I did have a run recently where I didn't have, where that boo wasn't in the bed. But here I got somehow very lucky and I was able to scan a mirror. And that is the trick that I use. I go all the way getting every single boo that I can into Lydia's room, and then I hit the mirror just to spawn back at the foyer. I think at this point, since I didn't get the boo, I went back into the boo room just to see if it went back into the original room that it went into. But unfortunately it didn't, and I think I just ended up losing that boo. All in all, this segment was alright so far. I did lose a boo, and this ball right here is giving me a bit of trouble, but other than that, there hasn't really been anything bad going on so far that I've lost time to, at least that I can think of. So here's everyone's favorite game, the button mashing game. Here we just spam the A button because we don't need all that. Alright, so yeah. So we'll be playing this game for a little bit. Everyone loves this game. Basically, this is Madame Clairvoyant. You are supposed to give her 5 items. Those 5 items being Mario's items. The hat, the glove, the shoe, the star, and the letter. With every clue, she gives you a closer look into the game and how to beat the game. And with the 5th clue, as you can tell, she gives you the final clue, the final boss. Actually, that's actually not true. As I'm watching here, I didn't remember that. The 4th clue, she gives you the final boss. The 5th clue, she gives you the entirety of the final boss. Or is it the 3rd clue? Huh. Or it may just be a specific clue, or a specific item that tells you the final boss. But the 5th item definitely gives you the entirety of the final boss. And it is King Boo and Bowser. That is the final boss of the game. But most of us have already known this for years. And with that, we are able to suck up Madame Clairvoyant. Madame Clairvoyant gives me no trouble. Madame Clairvoyant then gives you the key to the Safari Room, I believe. The Safari Room is not very good when it comes to like history of the runs for me. Mostly because of well, we'll get into that here in a second. Boo was a little hard to find because 9 times out of 10 he's in Madame Clairvoyant's chair, but this time he wasn't, so that kind of threw me off a bit. So got stuck on that corner there, but after that, we're going to be going after the Safari Room. Safari Room is not very good because, as you'll see here, sorry about the spamming once again. Here, okay. I almost made a very crucial mistake. That mistake being I need to grab ice before I go to the Safari Room. That Safari Room is, I believe it has either whatever beats, whatever ice beats, I believe it's water. I hit that bomb every single time I pass by this area. I remember that though. I remember that I hit that bomb every single time I pass by that area. So in order to trigger the ghost for this area, you have to mess with the deer heads. And yes, it is water. with the water ghosts, it I guess it just freezes the water. That's why. This is the first instance of seeing these kind of ghosts. These are like some kind of slammers or something, and they will basically slam the ground. I don't know what I did there. They will basically slam the ground and make a huge shock that reaches rather far. And sometimes I've gotten a little bit of bad luck, bad RNG with the slammers. And sometimes, thanks to these ghosts also popping up, you can kind of get a little bit messed up here, a little bit bad RNG. Because if one of those slammers is around and these ghosts keep on spawning, the slammer will come near you, and one of the ghosts will spawn that will scare Luigi, freezing him in place for a second or two. And that will give enough time for the slammer to slam down nearby and do damage to you. As you can see, that Boo Radar is going nuts once again before it turns red. Here, while I don't grab it, I make a note. I've always made a note to keep that Boo, that big heart in mind. That Boo doesn't treat me very nicely. Never really has. Thankfully, it can't escape to the top, right, or left. So all I gotta do is keep on the left, and I should be fine. It really has to fly towards me if it wants to escape. So here, I think as you could see, the Boo radar flashed red once. That was because if I didn't have 20 Boos, a Boo would stop me at that door and would basically force me back down. I can't remember where, but it would force me back down a few rooms, and it would basically tell me, you're not strong enough, you know, come back when you're stronger. Meaning, come back when you have 20 Boos. And I've made the mistake multiple times of having 19 Boos and going to that area and not being able to get there. So here we have the boss of Area 3, Boolossus. Boolossus, as you can see, is a Boo that is a Colossus. That's the name of Boolossus. Every Boo is based on a pun of sorts, or a joke of sorts, their name at least, and that is why Boolossus is a thing. It is a Colossus of Boos. Here I remember that the Boolossus didn't go great. It didn't go bad, but it didn't go great. Bad Boolossus is like horribly, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 cycle. This Boo was like 4 or 5, I can't remember exactly. I did see this trick where one of my friends recently, I was watching one of his stream clips, and he got Boolossus in 1 cycle. And I actually saw it. I actually saw the clip, and that was insane. I've never seen that before. I've never even seen Boolossus 2 cycle. But it did happen, and I was able to see it. Basically what he did, and I was trying to replicate it here actually. What he was doing was, he basically just got the Boos behind him, and he backed up to the other side of the field. He was just kind of sucking on his vacuum, and then at the very last second, he shot a ball of ice, and that grabbed every single, like, I think Boolossus is 15 Boos, so that grabbed like 13 out of the 15 Boos, and with one or two swipes, he got the other 2. Right there you can see I made a mistake, and while I froze the Boo, I didn't get the Boos. So there's 3 Boos left. This is going alright for honestly. I remember I was able to get to, I think I was able to get the goal to I couldn't remember. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. But here I know I definitely got the boo, the second to last boo, meaning the last boo cannot join with itself. Therefore, it just ends up flying around and trying to hit me and kill me. And right there, while it was off screen, I heard the tick of the ice. I heard the sound effect for the boo getting frozen. So that's when I went back and I saw it was frozen, so I sucked up. And that makes 35 boos and 3 losses. Overall, the run has gone magical so far. I saved about, as you can see, 5.5 minutes. That is probably one of the best boo losses I've had. While it was a 5 rough cycle, it's one of the best I've had. And it wasn't really all too bad. The actual segment itself, they saved a little over 3 minutes. But entirely, over the entire run, it was probably my better boo losses. The extra 3 minutes probably accounting for another 2 cycles, I would say. But yeah, boo losses never treats me good as well as Bogmire, but Bogmire thankfully was nice to me, only giving me a 4 cycle, I believe. And boo losses was about usual. Okay, so this time we'll be heading back into the mansion for the last time. Why do I mean for the last time? Because after this split, we will be going straight to King Boo. We will not be going back into Egad's laboratory. So here I will be running through the mansion, just kind of taking it chill, making sure I get through it as quick as possible, of course. But this is just some chill time right now. Just enough time to relax, but I end up making a couple mistakes by accident. So Area 4, if I remember right, didn't give me too much trouble. It gave me some trouble in like 2 rooms, I think. But overall, it didn't give me too much trouble. The one thing I didn't like about it though was this part. Was the infamous blackout. Whenever you clear Area 3, when going back to unlock the door into Area 4, the mansion gets struck with lightning, surging the entire house's electrical power and shutting off the breaker, causing a blackout. Meaning every single ghost in the vicinity, in the entire mansion, has free reign. Meaning literal hundreds upon thousands of ghosts could spawn at any moment. So yeah, I always used to run down because I never knew about this thing right here. Yeah, here I made... Yeah. Here I remember not being able to... Like, I accidentally turned towards the camera, and that spawned two golden ghosts and a hugger. And while the golden ghost didn't give me too much trouble, the hugger did, and that was what gave me a lot of difficulty when scanning that mirror. In which, before, I used to run down to the foyer, but thankfully, one of my friends taught me that there was a mirror there, and I've been using ever since. As you can see down in the foyer, I took a wrong turn because I thought you had to go down to the basement first. But no, you have to go down into the wardrobe room because there is a new portrait ghost there. And I got super good RNG because as I walk into the room, Uncle Grimley is doing his, like where he shows his heart, and I can suck him up immediately. I think that was one of the reasons why this run was a PB, was because I can waste up to 15 seconds getting Uncle Grimley, but thanks to being able to walk right into the door. I think it was maybe possibly because I ran through the foyer into the hallway first before I even got near Grimley. It may be somewhat contributed to that, I'm not exactly sure. Here I made the tiny mistake and tried to go into the bottom door when I'm supposed to go into the top door. Here we'll flip the breaker and turn on the lights with no sound effect again. Now here I need to say something about Area 4. Area 4 has boos just like Areas 1, 2, and 3, but unfortunately Area 4's boos are very unpredictable as well as very irritating because Area 4 has boos that are between 150 health and 300. Depending on the boo you can get, you can either have a nice time or you can have one of the worst times ever. For some reason I got hit by that ghost. I'm pretty sure I backed off, but couldn't quite tell. There are two ghosts in here. Both twirlers. They're hidden in the barrels. Alright then. Here I try to get the twirler on the floor from the ceiling because no matter what you do, it will always be on the ceiling and you will always be on the ceiling. Or it will always be on the floor and you will always be on the ceiling, meaning it cannot touch you. I made the mistake of dropping down to the floor, but I did end up, since there was a fence in between, I was able to get the twirler before it got me. I actually spawned the spooky spirit, or speedy spirit, excuse me. I actually spawned the speedy spirit before I could get it, but I'm not going for the speedy spirit, so I don't ever get them. They're just getting as you can see, the boo just up and left, because after a certain point, even if you're sucking on him, he'll just move out of the room at a constant pace. He's like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. What the heck? Come on, man. I accidentally spawned the heart, but it was actually really good because that put me up to 4. Now, while that boo didn't go out at a constant pace like the one in the breaker room, it did just end up getting out of the room, in which that really hurt me. Now, because I'm pretty sure the breaker room boos went in the hallway, but I'm pretty sure it either went into the room, back into the breaker room, or it just went into one of the adjacent rooms. Yeah, okay. So we're going to be going back up to the actual Area 4. The basement is included in Area 4, but while Area 1 was kind of just a small area, Area 2 was kind of just downstairs, Area 3 was the second floor, excuse me. The second floor being composed of Areas 1 and 3. Area 4 is composed of the basement, as well as the third floor and the roof. A tiny bit of Area 3 is on the third floor as well. Seeing as how it's the safari room as well as the balcony where you fight the bosses.
Mario!
So here we're coming up on good time. This is about the time that I like to be. Coming up on 1 hour 13 minutes. I know that's, a lot of people would have been done with this game by now, but like I said, I'm no world record holder, nor do I ever claim to be. So here we're going to be going into the telephone room, and one thing people do that people don't do that I do. I don't do it right now, but I don't remember if I do it in this run or not.
Mario!
Do I? I believe I do, yeah. I go back to do it. I clear out this room and get the boo, only because of, because I don't quite, how do I say, I don't have the opportunity to get a lot of boos. When I go for King Boo, I have just enough. So I clear out this room, get the boo. I don't worry about the chest just because, again, it has money in it. One of those two chests or this cabinet will have the boo. Sometimes it doesn't, in which this case it didn't. I don't think it did. Where's the boo? Oh yeah, recently it's been in the table. Recently I've had it been in the table, and that's a little irritating, but hey. Oh, the boo ball got in the way there for a second. And out it goes. It cackled just enough times and just ended up leaving. One of the few rare occurrences that I have in my runs is that a boo will leave into a room, but the room hasn't been cleared out yet, so it'll just go right into the dark room, and it's like, okay. I honestly really like the boos in a dark room. They look a lot cooler than in a lit up room. I mean, they look about what they're supposed to look, they're transparent. And in a lit up room, they look pretty transparent. So here we have the next portrait ghost. We have the toy soldiers. We have 3 of them. I usually start with the pink, then move on to the green. As you can see, he just about shot me. Move on to the green. The pink gives me almost no trouble. The green gives me a tiny bit of trouble, but not too much. But the blue is where it matters if you're going for pearls. But of course, I'm not going for pearls. The blue one is basically the boss or the general, if you want to say, of the group. And it is dependent on all 3 of them that we have to capture. And as you can see, the blue one always seems to not cooperate. Never does it seem to cooperate. Here, I just about left the room before I went to get the boo. That's weird. Sometimes those 2 soldiers on the left and right don't cooperate with me. There we go. Oh, that's fine. I forgot. Most of the time, sometimes I don't remember where I get the boos, and sometimes I do, like where I find them. And like I was saying earlier with boo losses, how most of the boos are based on the puns. That one was the 6 o'clock boos, as in the 6 o'clock news. So that's what I was getting at. Here, we kind of just have to walk into the area and all 3 duos will spawn. I'm doing something... Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, I was doing something that I don't normally do, at least nowadays. Earlier, I used to just suck on the ghost masks, flash them, and suck them up. But then, I found out recently that because there's fire there, it's just easy just to burn them all. Because they're pretty, like, easy to burn. like when you're sucking them all up, you could get like, you could flash like all 6 of them, but you're only gonna get I think 3 at a time. Here I made the mistake of leading the ghost away for too long. If a ghost tries to hunt you down for a certain distance or a certain amount of time, it will despawn and try to get you later. And I made that mistake. So here I try to finally get the ghost, and when I do, I try to be near the ladder because the chest spawns at the top of the ladder. The chest spawns a key, or it has a key, and that will lead me back down into the armory, I believe, on the 3rd floor. The ladder doesn't cooperate here with me, if I remember right. I try to go down it, but then I go back up, but then I try to go down, then I go back up, then I just resort to vacuuming towards the ladder. Vacuuming towards the ladder just ends up dropping you straight down, so yeah. A lot of people use that on the well, and while I do use that on the well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's just dependent on if I remember or not. I can't remember if the boo is back, but sometimes it does come back. Sometimes the boos do come back for me. Sometimes they stay in the rooms they went to. Here I try a method of burning the boo as well as sucking the boo, but I'm not exactly sure if that still works. I'm gonna have to look that up just to make sure I am right. That way I can. Maybe the fire does more on the boo. I'm not entirely sure. I think they do about the same amount of damage. Okay, so we're coming up on the boo count for King Boo. The last couple of boos I get, I do remember, are in the armory, and I believe are the 2 boos down in the basement. The final boo, I don't remember. I believe it's Jarvis's boo, because if it's not Jarvis's boo, it's a boo that ran into that room, and that's the part that I'm not okay with, is I've had up to 3 boos run, or no, I've had up to 2 boos run into Jarvis's room, meaning that there is a 3rd boo as well included in Jarvis's room. So that means that there are 3 boos in total in Jarvis's room. And with that many boos, I can't allow to skip that room. So here we have the armory. Basically just activate the armor stands, and a few of them, they all have one of every type of ghost we've seen. The twirlers, the slammers, the golden ones, the huggers. There are 2 chests in the room that contain actual ghosts, those ghosts being twirlers. It is the one I spawned down below, and it is one on the top left. This twirler keeps on giving me a hard time. I don't remember that. Alright, so we've lit up the room. Boo is almost always in one of these chests. If it's not, it's in one of the armor stands. Here I get a little confused. I do remember that because it's blinking red, but I've hit everything in the vicinity. And and I believe it was in either the box on the top there, just past the armor stand, or it was in that armor stand I just hit. And whoop. Alright. Is it in this one? Yeah. I remember that Boo didn't have the best time of me. Yeah. I was gonna say I couldn't remember if he ran into the hallway or if he ran into the into Jarvis's room. There, I don't know why, but in certain rooms, this room in particular, sometimes my controller will not function properly. I'll be holding the control stick, but it won't be working properly. I think because I use a wireless controller, I need to possibly replace the batteries depending on if it starts becoming more of a problem. The batteries run very well. The batteries run very well, but unfortunately with the case, I cannot. Those batteries are very weird when it comes to the controller itself. Here I forgot to grab the chest, but that was because I was focused on the Boo. The Boo is definitely more important. This key will lead into the room up top. Or does it? Where does the key lead to? Does it lead downstairs? Probably leads downstairs. Here I grabbed the ice. I actually remember in a run just recently, I can't remember what exactly happened, but I know I accidentally triggered Jarvis before I grabbed ice, and I didn't have ice. That was why I kind of freaked out a little bit, but I ended up completing Jarvis just like I do here. So Jarvis, most people don't get Jarvis, but like I said, under certain circumstances, I do get Jarvis. Just because of the booze, not because of Jarvis himself. Jarvis requires you to freeze him 7 times in a row, which ends up being the exact amount of times that he pops up. So you have to get him every single time he pops up. Right here, he got me in a position where I accidentally spawned a ruby. I was very careful about that because I didn't want to grab the ruby. As you can see right here, the Boo is giving me a tiny bit of trouble, but that was actually the Boo that was supposed to be in that room. Tambourine, I believe was its name. And as you can see, this thing is just playing leapfrog with the 2 rooms. Yeah, and if you can hear that cackling right there, the more that happens, the more he's just gonna bolt for another room, and unfortunately that ended up happening. I didn't get anything on him just because he was in a weird position. That armory is a weird position for Boos. There we go. Alright. So here, I guess I don't remember. I thought I got at least 2 Boos from that room, but I guess I didn't because it didn't give me too much trouble. But here, I understand that most people would do a save warp, but I don't. I actually use the mirror to go down because I feel that it's faster. Just because a save warp as well as a mirror warp will take you to the exact same place. And where I'm going to is the basement. That is where I'm going to take on 2 rooms as well as 2 more Boos to round out the amount. Here I checked this room just to make sure that the Boo hasn't gone back in there, and it hasn't, so I just end up leaving. Here I believe the Boo has gone back into its room, so here I check around just to be safe. Here I get full health, I believe, thanks to that heart. There we go. And here I end up getting the Boo, I believe. Yes, I do. Alright. So here I just need 1 more Boo, and I believe I get it in the room just to the left of this room. I believe there is a portrait ghost in there. I believe his name is Weston. Sir Weston. This was the room that I was talking about earlier in the run with the huggers. This room spawns 3 huggers, and as you can see, they are a nightmare. As you can see, one of them got on me, and 2 of them are right behind me. I'm still doing the normal animation and whatnot of the turning the valve and whatnot, but when I come back, one of them is on me, 2 of them is on me, and yeah. I honestly hate this room with a burning passion because it is so chaotic. Not to mention these green things flying around can hurt you. There I got really lucky and just got through the door in time before the hugger could actually grab a hold of me. Here is Sir Weston's room. You have to light the 2 fires, which will actually make him visible. And what you have to do is spit fire on him to melt his ice gradually before it breaks entirely. And Sir Weston almost didn't give me any trouble, as you can see here. He did. That is because I can one-cycle him, but as you can see, I got really bad luck with Sir Weston here. And not only that, but I actually got very close to low health. I actually got him out of his ice, but because I got hit by one of the falling icicles, he ended up reforming his ice. And here, I get this boo just because it's 150 health. It's not 200 or 300 like the earlier boos. That 150 health boo is actually, I forgot, I do that every time I play this game, even if it's a speed run, just because I like to do that. I like to have a little fun with my runs. So yeah, this boo isn't going very smoothly for me, at least in this room. It can't really escape the hallway, so it has to run towards me. And then it runs back into its own room. These boos are not very cooperative sometimes. This time I get very close to low health. And here a lot of people would end up save warping to the, just to level, or the main floor, to the foyer. But, I normally don't. I feel like I should start at least trying to, because sometimes I don't save, and I actually ended up doing that recently on a run where I thought I saved, so I tried to save warp, and I lost like 2 boos and a couple, and actually a portrait ghost, I remember. So yeah, I wonder why I didn't get all that. But as you can see, I have all the boos that I need, so I will stop going for the boos. There is a perfect example of me mashing A right after I run out of a door. Jeez. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm running through the mansion just like normal, going back up to the last portrait ghost. The last portrait ghost is the boss of Area 4, I believe. I believe, at least. That being Vincent Van Gogh. He is the creator of all the ghosts that we've been seeing that aren't portrait ghosts. So all the gold ghosts, all the pink twirlers, all the blue slammers, and all the different variations of the huggers. He has created all of those, as well as the ceiling ghosts and the Shy Guy ghosts, I believe. Here I make a note to get the big heart in here, because I am somewhat low on health, and while I'm not anywhere hurting, this place has given me trouble in the past, so I just end up getting as much health as I can. So as you can see, he's created every single ghost that isn't a portrait ghost. And he's given life to them, as we've seen throughout the mansion. So as you can see, he speaks in a different accent. I believe he's somewhere within like French, kind of the French dialect. If any French people know what he's saying, it would be very good, because right before I end up trying to suck him up, he says one more thing that's 2 words, and I can't remember. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and I'm not about to pronounce it. And I will point it out here. Gets this one. There I got a triple pink twirler. I am very happy with that. That happens not a lot. Here, I try to get a triple blue slammer, but as you can see, I got none of them. I try to get the triples on these guys just because sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. Here, I'm very scared about that last blue slammer that I left. I intentionally tried to get him, but unfortunately I didn't, and that was why I got very scared. Here, the huggers got very close to me, and unfortunately, I only got one of them, but that's one more I don't have to worry about. Alright, so we're getting the last hugger here. And here we have ghosts number 5, I believe, the Shy Guy ghosts. I get all of them in one go, which is very nice. If you can hear off camera, I was actually getting the hearts off camera. You can control Luigi even when he's not on camera during that cutscene. And I'm not exactly sure why that is, but that's very helpful, because sometimes I position myself in front of a heart. That way all I have to do is hold R while I'm looking at the ghosts. That way once I have control of Luigi, he sucks up a heart, getting just a little bit more health. But now, as you can see, after we get the last ghost, these ghosts are a little hard, but I end up taking the damage that I need to, just so that I can burn up the ghosts. It was unnecessary damage, but at the same time, it was damage that I was alright with as long as I got all 3 ghosts, and I did. Right there, the very last text box that Van Gore says. Like I said, I was not about to pronounce it, but that very last text box, if anyone knows what that means, I would love to. But with that, we have Vincent down, and we are going after King Boo. I don't remember how King Boo went, but I do know he didn't give me too much trouble. As well as Vincent. Vincent almost never gives me any trouble. And when it comes to King Boo, he doesn't give me too much trouble either. Sometimes he gives me a little bit of trouble, but I don't know. There's another example of me mashing A as I go through a door. For some reason there I tried to go through the door, but like I stopped myself midway. I'm not exactly sure why. Alright, so we'll be coming up here on the final boss of the game. King Boo. In order to get to King Boo, you need the key, which, just like after every area, after the boss goes, and you need 40 boos to get to King Boo. If you do not, you will be thrown back to a certain amount of rooms. I can't remember how many. And you will be told to basically come back when you have 40 boos. So here we have a little bit of a cutscene with Mario slamming on the painting, even though somehow I don't understand how he got trapped inside, even though during the whole era of Super Mario 64 he would jump in and out of them like nobody's business. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of evil magic inside these paintings. Although Bowser had evil magic doing that area as well, so I don't know. Someone explain it to me, please. Okay, and now since we're coming up on the final boss of the game, King Boo and Bowser. King Boo didn't really give me too much trouble. Bowser gave me a tiny bit of trouble. I think the entirety of it went really well. I'm coming up on almost 10 minutes of extra time. But then again, it does take me a couple minutes to defeat King Boo. Just because King Boo has 500 health. He is the strongest Boo in the entire game. And takes at least 3 cycles for me. The balls that Bowser is throwing kind of gives me trouble, I think, one time, but other than that, it doesn't really complicate things. Every single phase, I get about 100 to 125 or so health off of them. It's a nice, it's definitely a nicer Bowser that I would like, but oh yeah, I remember this thing. This was kind of stupid because all Bowser did was this. He did like 2 fire breaths and 2 of this vacuum thing that he does. And I'm not exactly sure why. You might have to be a certain distance away from him. But after giving me a little bit of trouble, that was the second phase. There we go. And I remember after a certain point of King Boo's health, Bowser will start to act differently, and we'll be seeing it here in a second because we will pass the threshold with this phase. 3-cycle King Boo almost never happens. It has happened once, I think, but I can't remember when it was. But this is what I was talking about. Bowser will then put his head back on, but it will go on wrong, so he will kind of just run around crazy. Kind of complicated. Here Bowser got really close to me, and in the past that has always the damage. But with that, we have got King Boo with 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 7 seconds. Overall, the run was really, really well done. I'm really happy with what happened in the entire run. Area 1 didn't give me too much trouble. Chauncey was the only problem I had with that. Bogmire, Area 2, things really didn't go my way, but at the same time, they were okay. I think the only thing that really worried me, it was probably the Boo down in the Boo release area, the Boo release room, as well as Bogmire. Area 3 was alright. The only thing I didn't like about that was, I think, a couple rooms as well as Boolossus himself. Area 4 I wasn't a fan of, but it went better than usual, as well as Vincent. Vincent was okay. Wasn't my favorite, but he was okay. And with that King Boo, it was one of my better King Boos. It was a 4-cycle, I believe. It was a 4-cycle, but it was one of the better King Boos just because I was able to get him to a 4-cycle with like a double-digit health. Sometimes my 4-cycles go in, like, stay at triple digits, like 100 or so, and it's just like, it just doesn't cooperate. Like, I run the risk of getting a 5-cycle. But with that, we've gotten all of the paintings. Well, not all of the paintings, but of course all of the paintings that a speedrun needs to have. And I want to thank everyone for watching. If you liked it, give it a like. Comment what was your favorite part of the run. Did you like anything that I did, or do you have any tips for the future, maybe? And maybe subscribe. I'm doing a lot more content. A couple more videos will be coming out soon, and I will be posting any PBs or any good runs, any memorable runs for the time being. So like this is a PB, I'm definitely posting this, as you can see. And let me know if you like the post commentary kind of bit. This video, I remember doing an intro to the video in the beginning, but again, because my mic was so low, you are not able to hear me. I'm very sorry about that. But it turned out to be better because then I could do this post commentary, and I'm very happy I could do that. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for watching the run. What was your favorite part of the series? And I hope you liked the video. Alright guys, see you later guys.